modern musical theater and you think of songwriting teams, the very first name that will come to your head is Ahrens and Flaherty. You know them from Ragtime, Once on This Island, from Rocky. They wrote two of my favorite songs that are actually in Rocky. And right now, Anastasia, where the song Paris is being sung about 1 million times from little girls all around the world. I have heard this song more than I ever thought I'd ever hear it. Yeah. It's seriously very popular, this song. They are now have a new song on an album called Artists in Residence, songs from the COVID. Tell us a little bit about your song and how you came to this idea of writing this song.
Well,
then you can start.
Okay, yeah, we'll duke it out. Andrew Gorilla got in touch with us and told us about his project. We thought it sounded wonderful, and we were doing nothing else, and we were both in quarantine, me in upstate New York and Stephen in Mexico. And I said, why don't you just write a tune? I love getting music first. That's part of my process, I guess. Is my favorite thing is to get a tune and try to set it. So I said, just, write something, maybe something really, for these times, up-tempo and joyous. And Stephen said, I'm not in that mood. And I said, okay, whatever comes out, comes out. So he wrote the tune, and that's what came to me.
Yeah, it was, first of all, like a real blessing that Andrew had reached out to us, because this was rather towards the beginning of the quarantine,
yeah.
And I think everybody was trying to find their footing and getting used to the idea that we were separated, and trying to connect with one another and, but not being able to physically. And I guess like my emotions at that moment were more reflective than like brassy. So there's something about the tune, which is called Kaya Santa Barbara, that to me, it seems like it's looking inward and maybe looking back. And it does have a plaintive quality to the melody, as if, you are alone. And we had always wanted to work with Rachel Bay Jones, and it just never worked out in terms of doing a show with her. And, she'd been shuttling back and forth between New York and California. So we thought this potentially could be a great opportunity to work with her. So the interesting thing about the song that's sort of like the twist about it is I was thinking about it for about a week. And then Sunday, I got this melody and got this idea that I wanted to get to Lynn about the song, because it felt like, oh, this could be the basis of the song or the kernel of it. And so, how iPhones, they have that little voice recorder, and you hit the button and it slates it for you because it knows where you are all the time. It's like a Big Brother thing. So I put the song on the electric keyboard, and then it automatically slated Kaya Santa Barbara, which was the street that I was on in Mexico whenever I played it. And I sent it to Lynn, and I said, I think this is the basis of the tune. And she thought that Kaya Santa Barbara was my suggestion for a title. So that's how the song came.
And it fit the music perfectly. It fit perfectly. So I just wanted to add one thing. The weird thing was that, I thought, well, I can't write a song about Stephen's experience. That's too strange, is that what he's asking me to do? I couldn't figure it out. And I finally found a way through the melody of relating it to what I was going through, which was, looking at things on the walls and picking up old photographs. And, with time on your hands, you start to reminisce and start to look at stuff. But then I thought, well, it's a woman who's doing that, who was once in Kaya Santa Barbara. I was really trying to give him what I thought he was asking for. And then I looked up that where he was in Mexico, and I was looking at, the town squares and this and that. So I was trying to weave in, something about being there, but being where I am. And that's how my half of the song came to be.
And I think it was like a real synergistic thing, because Kaya Santa Barbara has 6 syllables, and the entire melody is based on a set of 6 notes.
Right.
So the fact
I thought you meant it.
Just like total serendipity, and oddly, Lynn really captured what it felt like to be in that place and that time, and like the town square and the colors and the laughter and the characters. And uh, I just thought it was like such a gift. I was reading the lyric without even the tune. You know, it was just like, you know, looking it on a piece of paper, and I just started crying. I thought it was so beautiful, and it was about trying to connect with somebody and not being able to be with somebody because of the current situation. And uh, it's a sort of a little gem. And I also think that since it sort of has a Mexican thing to it, that I wanted to have a guitar. So it's myself playing the keyboard on the track, Rachel singing the vocal, and our friend Eric Davis, who did a lot of the Rocky development with us.
Yeah.
He was in our band, you know, when we were doing the Rocky. And he was holed up in Long Island. So he did his part from his little studio. And it was an interesting thing, like connecting with all these different people and everybody with their kind of makeshift, you know, rigs, trying to like get beyond that and just connect with one another and make music.
I have to apologize. For some reason, my cat Hamlet decided that he wants to be a part of this video.
Hamlet. Oh my gosh. I just finished
That's
reading a
Hamlet.
beautiful book called Hamnet, which I've passed on to Stephen, which is
Yeah.
the same name in ye olde England. Hamnet and Hamlet were the same name. So
Well, if you see a little white cat playing,
I'll be very
I have
jealous.
no control at the moment. You both were working on a musical, and you were probably, knowing you two, working on other projects. What were you working on before, and where are those projects now? And what are you working on now? Has time changed to change that?
Well, we were both in Sarasota, Florida when the pandemic bubbled up. We were working on a show called Knoxville, and we had been in rehearsal for 3 weeks when, you know, and every night we'd come back to our hotel rooms and, you know, you'd turn on the news and you're like, what's happening? Something bad is coming. It really started to sound very dire. We got, you know, nervous. And then, of course, like everybody across the country and around the world, we were shut down. So we ran to our, you know, our loved ones wherever they were. I came upstate, and Stephen went to Mexico to be with Trevor. And right now, we've done some little bit of rewriting on the show based on, you know, what we learned in rehearsals. And we are scheduled to go back and start again in April, and we'll see if it actually comes to pass. I think everybody is taking a wait and see approach, but it's a beautiful, beautiful show. It's a book and direction by Frank Galati, who did Ragtime with us, the original Ragtime production. And he adapted this play called All the Way Home, which is based on the Pulitzer Prize winning Death in the Family by James Agee. So, you know, it's just a beautiful project. We have Jason Daniely is playing the role of James Agee, and we have a stunning cast. And, you know, we were just in the midst of that and had it, you know, cut out from under us, basically. So we're hoping to go back to that again in the spring if all goes well. And in the meantime, you know, we've been in such separate places and in such separate mindsets. Just speaking for myself, I've been finishing a book that I've been trying to finish for years. And it's a series of years and years. It's a series of essays, but I've done a bunch of writing up here. I think I've finally come to the end of it. And it's just, you know, having the time to do that instead of, you know, running around to rehearsals and doing a lot of other things. It really helped me to focus on that. So that's what I've been up to.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It is a good thing. It's a big change of, you know, change of life. It was good.
I also think that we were sort of blessed when the time that when this all hit, that we were working on a piece that was a very nourishing piece. You know, it had a lot of big questions and big issues. It's an ensemble piece about a family trying to cope with a tragic event that happens and how that can be actually transformed into a work of art. You know, so I mean, to be working on something like that as we're experiencing, you know, these days as they went further, I think it was really great for us in the gang to be able to, I mean, we frankly, when you're out of town, you are a family, you know, so we were with our family, this little out of town group of actors and, you know, musicians, and to try to focus on the idea that we together could create some work of art together. That really helped. That helped me certainly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I've asked you this question before, but this question always changes, and it's really my favorite question in life. They say that eyes are the windows of the soul, but I believe that songs are. If you had to choose a song or a song cycle to describe who you are now, what would that be?
That's
Oh,
your favorite question, Suzanne?
there was actually a glitch when you said the word song. I thought you
It
said
sounded like
song.
fong.
And I thought songs are the way into the soul. I thought, well, I
Well, whatever gets you
yes,
there.
whatever gets you there.
No,
Yeah.
songs would not be
I actually
it.
prefer leopard print.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to think song.
No, song.
Where we are now?
Cycle of songs, meaning you can choose more than one.
Well, we wrote 2 songs, so far during our lockdown, Kaya Santa Barbara. And we also wrote a song for the Gay Men's Chorus of Washington, D.C. called Harmony's Never Too Late, which they wanted a new song about what it means to sing as a group and the idea that harmony and love is greater than hate, and they wanted to do it as a premiere for their August benefit. And we all felt like we would love to put something positive into the world. So I love the song. And again, that was a music first, and Lynn wrote a beautiful lyric that's not only about being stronger than hate, it's actually about what it means to sing. Like, why do people need to sing? And it starts with these isolated voices because, this is the times we're in, and the idea that they're trying to connect, and what it means to have a group of people all singing. And it turned out beautifully. They did it obviously virtually, and everybody learned their one part, but they never had heard the other parts, never heard how it would work. I actually got a letter from one of the singers the other day, and he said, all I could hear was my one little note being picked out, but I didn't hear the rest of it because we weren't allowed to rehearse it together. And, it, obviously being a new song, they couldn't hear that, but there's something very moving and uplifting about the song. And it's we posted it on our Facebook page for those of you who want to check it out.
Yeah, they did a
Ahrens
great
Flaherty
job.
Facebook.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, and I think for me that really it felt really good to write that song, and I love hearing it, and the guys did a great job.
Stephen gave me a little time there to try and think what song would sum up where I am. It's so hard. I mean, that's a really hard question. We've written so much. We know so many songs. I on some weird level, Journey to the Past right now is striking me as, I know it sounds crazy, but I am reliving in these essays that I'm writing, I'm reliving a lot of the experiences that I've had in the theater and with my family. And, it's an interesting time for me to be thinking back on those things. So maybe I'll just say that. How's that?
This new book sounds fabulous.
I also think
I hope it's good. We'll see.
it's going to be great. It's going to be
We'll see.
great. Yeah. I also think that during this particular time, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement, there have been so many home covers of Till We Reach That Day and Make Them Hear You. People doing like very elaborate choral versions, as well as people just sitting at the edge of their bed and singing a cappella. And there's something that was incredibly moving to both of us about how these 2 songs, particularly Make Them Hear You, were really connecting with a large group of people. And even though these songs were written more than 20 years ago, it felt like really of the moment. And it was wonderful to see that they were meaningful to a lot of different people across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that's what makes great songs, is that they transcend time, that they
Right.
They touch the human soul in some universal way, and that's why they stay. Yeah.
And obviously, we're theater writers, so
Right.
we always write for character and for drama and for the particular scene. But it is exciting whenever they transcend the original context.
Yeah. We did, I don't know, I sorry if I cut you off, Susanna, but I just wanted to mention one other project that we haven't written, but we've rediscovered during this period. I don't know when it was, Stephen, about 2003, we wrote 2 song cycles.
Yeah.
And we're going to release those as a CD pretty soon with Van Deen. So we're all excited about
Oh,
that.
good.
No one has heard these songs.
And you've heard it here.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are actually the first person we've told about this.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm so excited.
the project is called Legacy, and there are two. Well, we don't want to tell you too much, but only one of them has ever been recorded, and the rest are, entirely new. And our singers are wonderful, and it's a great project, and part of it's about looking back too. So this is a good time to be doing this project and thinking back.
Journeying to the past. I rest my
We
case.
are, yeah.
Well, I, in a strange way, think that as much as I miss connection with people, I think this has been good for the human soul to have to look back
That's right.
and reflect and figure out who you are on other levels other than what you thought you were on. I think in a strange way, it's kind of a great lesson. I believe that you should look at things more half full than half empty. So what advice right now would you give to young songwriters and people that want to work for the theater, but we're in this very strange time? Do you have any advice to give them?
I think that's a really good question and a really hard question to answer, because I don't think anybody has any answers to that right now. I think probably, I would just say, well, just as a for instance, I have a wonderful young woman who, I call her my assistant. She'll laugh at this. I have no idea how to use an assistant, so I invite her over and we have lovely coffees together. And I don't know, but she's great. But her name is Meg Loughran, and I will give her a little plug. She has a play that is absolutely hilarious called Silverfish, and it's being produced by Urban Stages, and it's going to be on tonight, and I think the next
Yeah, we put this up.
Yeah.
We put this up as something to watch.
Yeah, she's great, and what she has done in her quarantine time is to work on her play, and write a play. And I think the only advice you can give anybody in this day and age, without any certainty of whether or not it'll be produced, is just keep writing, just keep connecting with people as best you can. Read your play on a Zoom meeting with your friends, and and see how it's going, or write a song with somebody long distance. I think just keeping your spirits up by practicing what you do best and what you love to do. That's all any of us can do right now. I don't know if that's very useful, but
no, I think it's incredibly helpful.
Yeah. I have nothing to add to that. That was like perfectly said. And I think that that's true, because I think we're all riding the waves, and the world is clearly changing, hopefully for the better. But there's just so much information and so much happening now, and I think it's important to hang on to our creative spirits as best we can, and ride through all of this.
And last question, what would you like other people to know about Artists in Residence and the album?
Well, for me personally, I think it's a testament to what people can do under very difficult circumstances. I mean, there are a lot of people that were actually recorded in their closets. One musician recorded in his storage space, in showers. I mean, it was done every which way, and it's a testament to the spirit of creativity that people could reach out and use what it was that they had at hand to be able to be creative and to connect with other people. And also, it's a benefit for the Dramatists Guild Foundation and the Actors Fund of America. And it was some way for us to be creative in a small way, and then put all of our material together for a good cause.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. The wonderful thing about the album for me is the incredible diversity of music and point of view. There are people, Alan Menken is doing a comedy song, with David Zippel, and oh my gosh, I should have had the list in front of me. There are comedy songs. There are beautiful ballads. There are people, Andrew's song is so wonderful, seeing a girl dancing on a rooftop. just how everybody is reacting to the same moment is really interesting. Stephen and I are, you know, sort of is strangely connecting, you know, in the moments where, you know, in our very, very separate lives at that moment. That's what I think is so interesting about the album, is like, here we all are in the same boat. What do you make of that? And it's completely different. It's like 14 completely different takes on that. You know, even Jonathan Tunick's operatic, beautiful meditation on Central Park, you know, it just is fascinating what this time has brought out in everybody.
Well,
Also, I think the funniest rhyme is David Zippel's.
It always is. What is it?
He rhymes Dr. Fauci and Grouchy.
There you go.
I do have to say that was the first time I had heard Dr. Fauci's name in a song and rhymed. So,
That's great.
yeah.
Well, I am very grateful that you met with me, and
Of course.
Magda.
Pleasure.
Of course. Something. Uh-oh.
And hearing these songs, it's lovely.
Great. You're freezing up a little bit.
Sorry. It was lovely to hear all of the brand new songs from artists that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Listening and hearing their different takes, and actually, in a strange way, they had different voices on this album. So it was very, very interesting to hear.
Yes, it's great.
So thank you.
Well, thank you. This is